Well, hello. It has been a while since I went live. So, I figured why not? Might as well go live and just talk about whatever I feel like. And, I guess it is good to just, I don't know, vent about something or just talk. But, then again, they say the internet isn't really made for venting or whatever. Never mind the fact that I've seen a lot of people, you know, vent, so it's like, okay, well, so I guess the idea is to vent but not vent too much, or share but not overshare. Like honestly at the end of the day, it is arbitrary. I actually forgot what what Vecco used to say. Arbitrary. God, I forget it. But I don't know. I just figured I have it. So yeah. Mm. What are you waiting for? An invitation? Start talking. Uh, I don't know. Just sometimes I feel afraid to talk, right? Because I wind up saying the wrong thing or just not saying anything right, fumbling with my words, and just it's very annoying, honestly. Of course, you could speak as well as if you could speak well, take yourself well enough, but people still misunderstand you. But that's on them, I guess. But hey, you know what? I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm always clear in what I mean or express myself as well as I can. I do try. Truth be told, I do better in writing than in voice, but that's what I really got to learn how to do. Is articulate myself better in voice, so just as well in voice. You know, people do say that you should, you people usually write how they speak. Yet I, yet the way I write is completely different and the way I speak. Well, for example, if I were to write as I spoke, there would be stuttering in my text. It's like, does anyone want that? Like, hi, I don't know. It would just be weird. I mean, this is obviously shit that I've been told like what 3 years ago that my writing is, I don't want to say stunted, but like strict. No, not even strict. Rigid. I guess the person said. I mean, I don't know whether I've gotten better at writing. I don't know. It's just one of those things where other people see it, but you don't. But then sometimes you actually see yourself improve, but others don't. So it's honestly really fucking hard to accurately gauge. Excuse me. It's really fucking hard to actually gauge your abilities or your skills or whatever, because hey, you know what? You might do something, you think you did it great, but then somebody says, "Oh, no, 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 you didn't do it this way. You didn't do it great. Like you missed something," or which is okay, fine. I don't know. Oh, it looks like I have one viewer. I don't know. I'm always envious. I'm always envious about people who can talk really well. Like, mind you, it's a skill that can be learned, obviously. Uh, James, I think his last name is Apperson, can do it very well. Obviously, Answers in Atheism, Mike can do it. And, there are definitely others who can. I mean, as for me, I don't know, maybe, I don't know whether I'm just too too hyper focused. Well, I guess whether I'm hyper focused on it because I notice it. Like there are people who's like, did you start it? I didn't notice, but I noticed. That's the thing, right? Hang on, there's Pixie around. Hang on a sec. I mean, we have 2 viewers. No one's messaged in chat yet. Let me send this to Pixie, see if she's around. Da, 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 da. Oh, no, that's not what I wanted to do. There we go. Send it to Pixie. But hey, what can I say? What can I do? These are the days. Let's see. I guess no one. We have 2. I mean, I'm one of them, so it's definitely 2. Hmm. Uh, nowadays. Good evening. It's been alright so far. No complaints. Just been hanging out. Hmm. I'm definitely happier than I was before, right? Like it's been a hard 3 years and a half, right? Ups, downs, wins, losses. It's just been insane. All right, I'm glad I made it this far. I still live here. Obviously, I didn't get kicked out, which is good. Am I gonna live here for the rest of my life? I don't know. Probably not. I just know that I feel like I'm in a good place right now, right? I mean, yeah, I have my own place. Yeah, it gets lonely at times, but hey, you know what? At least you have time to yourself and to just focus on you, right? Because when you focus on yourself and you just do things for you, you will improve. Unless you don't do anything and don't improve, but that's just the people they are. Excuse me. Uh, so let's see. I know this stream is called the stream of consciousness, so one idea should flow into the other, but it's just like, uh, I don't know what it is, honestly. I want to talk, but it just feels like something's keeping me from talking. You know what I mean? It's very weird thing to describe, right? It's like that desire is there, but it's blocked. Maybe fear, maybe insecurities, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Like obviously it's okay to have fears, but you should overcome them. Like, it's just a work in progress. It's not easy. It's just sometimes you're able to do it. Other times your mind is like, no, fuck you. You're not doing it. Like I Uh, I haven't seen a therapist. I haven't seen a therapist in a while. Like generally, whenever I do see one, we talk about more about psychology than my own problems. I don't know. Oh, now we have 3 viewers. Hmm. Well, nobody's in the chat, so I guess. Actually, no, I just started. I can't end it now. Well, hopefully you're doing well, Christian Carpenter. Uh, Sometimes I wonder what some of the old people I used to know are doing. Old friends, acquaintances, or whatever, who stopped talking to me for various reasons. Which, yeah. I have many regrets, and oh, nice Carpenter. Let me see. I had an excellent day today. I put fans up all day. It was hot, but there was a nice breeze all day. Well, that's good. Hey, at least you did something, right? There's 3 people watching and only one person in chat, which is fine. Whatever. You can just watch. Hmm. Uh. Yeah, I guess she's busy. You know, I am extremely proud of Wildheart. Like, as far as I know, the man hasn't touched alcohol in like 2 months, 3 months. I don't know, but it's really good because apparently his liver has gone back to normal. That's what he said anyway. On what was it on was it on Praise's channel? Yeah, I think it was on Praise's channel. Speaking of Praise's channel, I went there last night, or I guess this morning, because I couldn't really sleep, and that was interesting. Just sitting there listening to them talk about how great God is and all that. Which, okay, yeah, if you're a believer, God definitely is great, and He's merciful and all that. But it's like, okay, I, I, I honestly don't know. Like, obviously, I'm not gonna sit here and say 100% accuracy or 100% certainty that God doesn't exist. I don't know, right? But how he's been presented to me doesn't really make much sense, and all the arguments for him haven't really made much sense, right? Like, for every argument for God that you can find, you can find a counter argument. Now, obviously, not every counter argument is good on either side, but yes, he is. And it's like, damn, dude, I I knew he could do it, but at the same time, I did it. You know what I mean? It's like I knew he could do it, but I don't know. It's really it's a and actually it's not hard to put into words. Like I knew he could do it, right? I just based on his behavior, I just didn't really expect him to ever do it. But of course, he's doing it now, which is good, right? I don't know what he's doing. I think he sleeps for like half the day and just streams or whatever. I don't know, but I'm glad he's doing. I'm glad he's doing better. Yeah. Also, there's this YouTuber called Stardust who apparently who apparently just found out that Shani and Rev exist. So she makes videos about them. And I'm sitting here thinking, where were you 5 years ago when so many people were making videos on them? I mean, sure, she could do it. Locals are there to be talked about, but it's just so funny to think about. I'm sorry. Uh, I made a great discovery. Shani and Rev. Oh my god. Yeah, that is funny. Uh, sometimes I wish my memory was really was better. Like sometimes I wish I could literally remember everything or as much as possible. Now I have a friend of mine who has a good memory, but then he's like, yeah, having a good memory isn't all it's cracked out to be, buddy. Which, okay, I get it. If you have a good memory, you tend to remember the good as well as the bad, or the bad. You know what I mean? But at the same time, you can remember exactly what you said. Because it's like, oh, people are always like, oh, Midnight, you said this. Well, I don't remember saying that. Do you have any proof? No. Or sometimes they do, and I'm like, I don't remember saying that. It's just it's annoying. It's something that's happened a lot over the years, and it's just one of those things. Like I, I don't know. Rev and the Vol blocked me because I was giving the shit about e-begging. Yeah, uh, those two. I don't know. Okay, hang on a sec. I have a strong dislike. Hey, sexy. Yes, hello. I will actually send you the link. Hang on. Uh, there we go. Sent to you, Hillary's. Okay. I have a strong dislike for people who beg for money so they don't want to work. It irks me. Granted. How do you feel about people on disability and welfare? Are those people quote unquote begging for money? Asking for a friend. I sent you the email, Hillary's. The link. um, Clearly, Hillary is taking, is taking the scenic route to get to the link. The Great Link. The Great Link. Hey, the messenger. The people on welfare equal no effort to be otherwise. Let's see. I got it, but okay, that's fine. Excuse me. The messenger reveals. How you been? It's been forever. Well, I mean, it's been forever, considering I never message you or have a stream. So of course it's been forever. Mind you, people on welfare don't know how to do otherwise as well. Hmm. By the way, messenger reveals. Are you still hold on, what am I trying to ask? Can you still cure PTSD, or was it something else? No, I think it was. You said you could cure PTSD. If you're incapable of working, I have no problem. It's the people who are just too lazy to work that bothers me. Yeah, yeah. 200 what? Anyways, yeah, I remember this friend of mine told me that he was in, like, I forget where he was, but he overheard this woman say, "As long as I keep having kids, the government keeps paying me." Yes, they do. And I'm like, wow, you are the fucking reason why people see people like us, people on welfare who actually need it, as leeches. You fucking piece of shit. And it was just like, uh, and don't get me started on Godless Girl. I mean, it's been forever. I wonder what she's doing. Mm. Well, at least you're consistent. I'm gonna give you that. Yeah, I do remember. I do remember hearing about that, or looking into it. Like, so a lot of people took, like, ayahuasca, and about 60 to 80% said that they were essentially cured of their addictions. Right? Some people were addicted to cigarettes, alcohol, and just taking ayahuasca helped them. Well, yeah, post-traumatic stress disorder. That's what PTSD means. Though, there's the cousin of it, complex PTSD. Which is like, Halsey, do you want a link to join? I'm gonna give you a link to join. There we go. I give you a link. I mean, you could say complex is just dumb. That's fine. Yeah. Anyways, Halsey, if you want to come on, I sent the link to you. I am honored. I choose you over Brutal Stream. I am honored and loved. I didn't even know Brojo was going live, although I guess I should have known since it's Hump Friday. Sorry, Hump Wednesday. Okay, that's fine. The link is there. Well, yeah, I know the DSM-5 doesn't use the term complex PTSD, but it is being studied. That it is talked about. Like just because it's not because it's not in the Bible doesn't mean it's not a real thing. Or like, uh, I mean that's because I didn't post it publicly. You know what? Hang on. Yes, I know DSM is the book you diagnose. Never mind. You gonna join or what? Also, Hillary, I don't see you joining. You're probably busy, so that's fine. Eight, 12, 8, 12, 8, 12, 12, 12. Are you gonna join or what's going on here? Yep. So I guess while we wait for the messenger's system to actually work, musical interlude. Just kidding. But yeah. So you know what? Let me change this icon. Let me flip into something a little more. I don't know. I just came in to hit the like, hello, crypto. How you doing tonight? Well, always nice to see you around these parts, I guess. Yep. Man, Hillary's supposed to be very busy. Oh, here we go. He has risen.
What's up, dude?
Nothing much.
How you been these past few years?
Oh, all right. A lot of progress. You know, at least I would like to think I made a lot of progress.
Well, you're still alive.
Well, yeah, obviously.
So when you say a lot of progress, what do you mean?
A lot of progress in self improvement, getting more confidence in myself, like like dealing with trauma related issues, just basically therapy.
So you have PTSD too?
I mean, it was it wasn't diagnosed per se, and it was
Well, it doesn't
it's
have to be
more.
diagnosed to be true. Just so you know.
Well, yeah, that was kind of my point about the DMC. Sorry, the DMV. The,
No,
whatever, you get the point.
it's the Diagnostic and Statistic Manual of Mental Disorders. So that's the manual right now, version 5, that people in
Yes,
the
I
United
know.
States used to provide a diagnosis that medical people accept for insurance and medical related purposes.
Yes, I
Because
know.
well, let me finish what I'm saying. So, for some stupid reason, the medical industry and the insurance industry requires a diagnosis for mental health to be categorized in the same viewpoint as medical health. And it's really fucking stupid, which means that if you go to a counselor or you go to a psychiatrist, psychologist, whatever, they require those behavioral health practitioners to give you a diagnosis that's equivalent to a medical diagnosis, which it's not. So they use this DSM 5, or in other parts of the world, or even Canada, they use the ICD to diagnose. And so all I've ever said to the community that kind of you associate with is there's no such thing as complex PTSD. It's not a term used in the ICD or the DSM. It's just a thing that people associate with PTSD to say you got one or more areas of PTSD going on, but it's still fucking PTSD.
I mean, didn't you say that just because something is not in the DSM, which yeah, I said it right this time, doesn't mean it's not true, real or
It's not a
whatever.
disorder. It's not the complex PTSD or PTSD. In my viewpoint, as a former practitioner, is the fucking same. If you have PTSD, you have PTSD. Whether it's multiple things contributing to those symptoms or one thing contributing to the symptoms, to me, it's the same thing. We got something to resolve. We got something to work on. Does that make sense?
I mean, as I've come to understand, the complex PTSD is, is trauma that you deal with on a daily basis or monthly basis or whatever. It keeps compounding, right? With PTSD, you go through a traumatic event once, and that traumatic event stays with you. But with complex PTSD, it basically adds up. Like, you go through traumatic events like every day or every month or every week or whatever. It usually happens when you live in highly toxic environments where you just breathing causes the person to just eh, abuse you or whatever the fuck, right? Like,
Well,
it's all a matter of
there's
frequency,
usually
right?
not abuse involved after the fact. PTSD is post traumatic, which means the event's already occurred. It doesn't mean it's continuous or
Yes,
ongoing.
but no, hang on. The event is.
You keep interrupting me, and I'm trying to provide explanation. I'm not trying to debate you. You and I don't have the same knowledge, education, background to debate a topic like PTSD.
I
So I'm
mean,
just
to be
trying to
fair,
explain. I'm trying to
to be
explain what it
fair,
is.
you're basing that just because I don't have any degrees.
I have a
You know,
bachelor's
you
and master.
really
I have a master's degree in clinical mental
okay?
health counseling.
Okay, that's
I'm
great.
I'm
That's great.
I'm qualified to
That's great.
disdiagnose people.
That's great. And I've talked to people who are just as qualified as you.
You
And
talking to a person that's qualified and being that person that's qualified are two very different things. You
you're
don't do you
missing.
have
You
this
are.
do you have the skills? Let me finish. Do you have the skills to do cross cutting diagnosis or differential diagnosis? Do you even know what that is?
Not off the top of my head, no.
No, you don't know because you haven't been trained. You didn't go through a 3.5 year program. You didn't go through clinicals. You didn't go through internship. You didn't go in the field and practice as a professional counselor. So you're just speaking in layman's terms.
Yeah, no
I'm
shit.
trying to
So
provide.
I know.
But
I'm a layman.
you're not letting me finish. You're trying to
Well,
defend
hold on.
yourself.
You know.
Let me finish. Let me
Okay,
finish.
whatever. It's
Otherwise,
your
we're
stream.
having a diatribe instead of me trying to explain to you
It's your
about
stream. Go ahead.
PTSD.
Talk.
So what I'm trying to explain is complex PTSD is not a real diagnosis. Never has been, and until it changes in the DSM or ICD, it never will be.
That's
So
great.
you trying to explain it from a layman's perspective or even I've been diagnosed with shit or I know people who have been diagnosed with doesn't fucking matter. You're
That's
just
great.
providing misinformation for people.
Yep. I love
Like
doing that.
when you read the criteria for PTSD in the DSM, which is people in the United States who are practitioners who do a diagnosis, it has set criteria, and it'll say things like one or more events that created or generated X symptoms or criteria. So throwing the term complex is just fucking erroneous. It's trying to say my complex PTSD is worse than your PTSD. PTSD is debilitating.
That's not what it.
Whether it's one event, let me finish. Whether it's one event or like it sounds to me like you're waiting to speak rather than listening. If you're not going to active listen, then there's no point in having this conversation. So I'm trying to explain whether you have one event or multiple events that create the diagnosis or criteria or symptoms, it's fucking bad no matter what. That's all I'm trying to say.
I don't think anyone was arguing that one is worse than the other. What the
Yes, you
fuck?
were.
No,
You seem to be making a
no,
case that complex was
no,
worse.
no. I wasn't saying that. Please do not put words in my mouth.
Then tell me what you think the difference is between the two.
I already explained the difference between the two.
No, you didn't. Tell me again. I want to hear it.
Okay. With regular PTSD. Okay, with
Regular?
PTSD.
There's no such thing. You're just doing shit again. There's no regular PTSD.
Okay, then you know what? I'm not talking. You have fun.
No,
You
I'm saying what's the difference between PTSD and complex
I'm
PTSD according
explaining
to
it.
you?
I'm sorry you don't like me. I'm sorry you don't like the use of the use of the word normal.
You said
I was
regular.
explaining it. Could someone else? Could someone else come on stream? Like I'm still gonna keep you here. I just, it'd be better to just
I'm
have.
asking you to tell me how you see PTSD and complex PTSD being different, because I'm telling you, in a professional's viewpoint,
Oh my.
which I was, they're not different. They're not.
Okay, how hold on, no, hold on. Halsey and or Hillary's. Have I? Did I say that the two are different? Like, please, somebody tell me that I said that, because this is literally what the fuck I was talking about before. Just people putting words in my mouth and that not
No,
having
I
the.
said you're trying to differentiate between the two. Why is there a differentiation? I mean, I'll rephrase it. Why is there a differentiation in your viewpoint, if there is, between PTSD and complex PTSD? From your viewpoint, I'm asking that question. What's
Yeah,
different about
well,
them?
it's not up to me to provide you with the definition you are pleased with. So have fun with that.
Do you have a different viewpoint between the two diagnoses in your viewpoint? Because there's not two diagnoses in my viewpoint, but it appears, because you use the terms separately, PTSD versus complex PTSD, that you believe
Hey,
there's a
Halsey,
differentiation between the two.
hold on. Halsey, is there any way you can come on and explain? Because I feel like you would do a much better job of explaining it than I would. Because I'm trying to. God, I hate it when I get like this.
Well, it just means there's more to work on, brother.
Yeah, no shit.
I mean, you see that most people aren't going to come on here and defend this position because they're not educated enough to do so. They don't
I
like.
mean,
You want people to come. You want people to
you've clearly
you
never met Halsey, have you?
you. Obviously, that person's not coming on to sit there and share their viewpoint. Why? Because they're not confident in the viewpoint.
Or it could be other reasons why she's not coming on, other than not being competent in her viewpoint. Jesus Christ, you haven't changed at all, have you? Like, still the same arrogant person that you were years
Why?
ago?
Why do you perceive my knowledge and confidence as arrogant?
Because you are coming across as arrogant.
I'm a
I
professional. I'm knowledgeable. I'm well educated.
so
Why
what
does that
so
make
were
me
other people
arrogant?
I've talked to about this. Okay, I've talked
Why
to my
does that make me
therapist.
arrogant?
Oh my! Look,
Why
I've
are you judging me as arrogant
why
because
you
I'm
acting like a
confident in
victim?
my position? What if I said that everything that you believe was just arrogance?
Yeah,
How would
cool. I'm
you?
arrogant. Let's get over it.
Again, I'm not basing my well-being or my viewpoint on your judgment of me, but you're calling it arrogance to diminish my viewpoint, my expert viewpoint.
Oh,
I'm qualified. It's my field.
okay.
I've
I
studied it
get,
for 20 years.
I
You?
get, I get that you are qualified. Okay,
I don't
my
think you
point.
believe I am.
I don't care whether you are or not. I get that you are. Okay, but my point is that I've talked to other people who were just as qualified as you, who who
No, you
just
haven't.
did it.
You
Okay,
have
so
not talked to any professional behavioral health clinicians that have been trained to diagnose. You have not.
oh really? I haven't talked to any. Okay.
Not online, not on your live streams. I'm not saying that you've never been to a therapist who's qualified. I'm not saying that you haven't had counseling by a professional. I'm saying you haven't had a dialogue on your online streams with people who have a difference of opinion. Because I would love to talk to those professionals. All right,
Okay.
sounding like the Joker.
I know. I love it. Uh,
It's a fake
uh,
laugh. I mean, it's not even real.
okay, it's a fake laugh. What do you want?
I want authenticity. I'm authentic. Everything that I say and do, I'm not trying to demean you. I'm not trying to put you down. Not trying to lord over you.
You
I'm presenting information from
you
my
literally
viewpoint.
you 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 are literally using literally using your degrees, your whatever, saying, "Oh, I know better than you because I've studied this for 20 years." Okay, cool. You studied it for 20 years. I'm not gonna like I'm not diminishing the work you put in. Okay, but
I'm saying I'm not speaking it from a place of ignorance. I'm not speaking from a place of inexperience. So when I'm telling you that I'm sharing a viewpoint, it's a professional viewpoint, not a layman's term I fucking read shit on Wikipedia.
okay. First of all, I don't read Wikipedia. Okay, I read
I
books.
didn't say you did. I didn't say you did. I was talking about me and now you turned it back into you.
Well, what did you like? Well, what did
I was
you?
clarifying my position that when I say that I've studied human behavior for 20 years, when I have these educational credentials and degrees, they matter. Otherwise, there would be no point in getting credentials.
Whatever. Hey, Richard, have fun with this guy.
Peace and respect. How are you, John?
What's up, Richard? I haven't talked to you in a
I
moon's age
know.
or a coon's age or whatever the fuck they call that shit.
Yeah, like
How
people
are
became
you?
adults since we talked last.
That's that. What has it been, like 3 or 4 years since you and I had?
I don't
Like, I
know.
know we've chit chatted like with you live streaming and me on the chat, but
Yeah, yeah.
good to hear your voice, man, and being able to dialogue with you. What's going on?
Hear yours is too. Hear yours as well. That'd be a
You
better
know, I still have
sentence
that.
than the first one.
I still have that earring that you engineered for me. Like it's in my keepsake box. I'm not saying I wear that shit, but
Yeah, yeah.
it meant something to me enough for me to keep it over the years.
Nice. Nice. Glad you liked it.
I
Even if you don't wear it, it's
appreciated.
not about
I
wearing it, you
I
know?
appreciated the gesture and the intention that came behind it as a friend.
Right on, bro. Right on. So what
So
you been up to?
just living life, bro. I mean, my son's with my new wife is 7 years old. I have twin 6-year-old daughters that are all in kindergarten, first grade now. I decided at a late age in life that I wanted to redo family.
That's okay. I mean, as long as you're still healthy, you're not dying of something, that's cool.
Not dying. I'm still doing okay. How are you?
I'm better than I deserve, truly.
You always say that. How's your sister?
My youngest sibling sister no longer refers to themselves as a sister, but a
Are
brother.
you talking about the one that used to be on our broadcast on your broadcast with you?
Yes, yes,
What was
and
her What was her handle or his handle now?
what is it now?
No, what was
I
it
don't know.
then?
It
Like
could
I'm
have
trying to
recently
remember. I
changed.
forgot.
What was it at the time?
Because that
Something
person
like,
was really cool, and I had some dialogue with
yeah,
that
I
person
know
way
that
back
changed
when.
as soon as they started taking hormones.
So they decided to transition. Okay,
Yeah,
and
and
how is
it's
he doing
been
then?
really rough.
Why?
Uh, well, I okay, people can say whatever they want. I'm going to say what I think. Roid rage.
Sure. So the testosterone created that.
It, it's not right. Whatever it is, it's not right, and I don't think there's any scheduled breaks.
But your sibling is doing HRT, is what you're telling me.
Yeah.
God, what the fuck was their handle? Like I like it's on the tip of my tongue.
Well,
Because that's how I identify with that person,
like
if that makes sense.
Be or it's always been be something.
Yes. Oh, you
I mean,
just
I
triggered
remember it, but I don't want to say it.
Why
Say
not?
it. Why are you being not helpful?
Well,
We're
because
trying to remember a
hold on.
retired name.
Beatrice? Was it Beatrice?
No, it was Beck. And the reason why I didn't say it is because
No.
I have a tendency of saying the wrong thing at the wrong time and not realizing it's wrong until someone else points it out later.
I thought it was something
But it
else
wasn't
though.
Beck.
Not. I don't remember
It
Beck.
wasn't
I
Beck.
don't.
Beck is
I don't
more
remember
recent.
Beck.
Since John went missing, it became Beck.
Yeah. That was like 3-4 years ago when I
never
kind
mind.
of unplugged.
Yeah.
But when you're saying B, like that's like creating recall, but it's not there
It was
yet.
BE, and it was always B something. Like there was so many variations. Like there were series of shows, like Be Respectful.
So your sibling has since gone through HRT, identifying as male, right?
Yes.
But they're not doing well in life and not doing well personally.
I mean,
Mm.
I
would have an offline conversation with you being who you are in your training. And
I'm sorry to hear that. Like, because
literally go offline if we want.
I liked that person. Like, I remember having
that person was my favorite human on the planet and my best friend. That's who that person was.
But you don't feel that way anymore.
No,
Dude.
I still feel that way. They don't feel that way.
I think Spooky Bet here maybe right B, not B, because I do remember seeing that like a long ass time ago.
But Beck was always doing wordplay on the letter B versus the word BEB. And it was all, and it changed so many times. I can't even tell you all the variations. I thought it was really witty.
How are you doing, Richard? 3 years been passed. Like you always say, better than I will. You still, it seems to me like when I've chimed in on your, on your conversations with people, you appear to me to be pretty much same steadfast person with the same steadfast, belief system. How are you?
Yeah, no, I mean, I am fully and thoroughly persuaded, and I can't see something changing that. Not that I'm closed-minded. I wouldn't be open to changing my mind. Obviously, at age 42, I did change my mind in a very significant way because of new evidence. But but I am content. I'm not bubbly, silly, happy.
I hope that's not
you've never been that way though.
I hope that's not the age I
hope you don't have to wait till 42, right? Yeah. No, I'm not a bubbly kind of person anyway. I never have been.
No, me neither.
But I'm happy, and I think even if what I believe since 42 is absolutely a delusion, it seems to work in this delusional reality, and has made me a happy person that the majority of people that I interact with find very, very likable and trustworthy.
That's the truth. Well, that's the thing is you are not a disingenuous person, which I love. I like. I mean, even if people are belligerent, I like genuine people.
Right on.
So you become a genuine human being, which means you are what you are, and you carry yourself with a nature that presents as humble. And I say presents because nobody knows somebody's real, true intention.
Why don't you?
but you present like I don't present with humility in those ways. I present with more like shoving the shit down your throat. But you do present those ways unless somebody's being, I would say, disingenuous in their ways to.
I would have said knowingly disingenuous.
Well, like when they know they're just trying to be combative with you, then I kind of see you not do well in those moments. You know what I mean? Like in those moments, you're like, all right, I'm fed up with your bullshit. Like that's at that point you're like, okay, I'm not here to be that humble. I care about you. You're just being a fuckhead.
Completely genuine. It really does bother me when someone does that.
It does because you're being a like I think the term you used was you're not being a what can you help me out with a philosophical phrase?
Probably something like honest interlocutor or
something like that, but there's another term for it.
I don't know. There's a few variations I use. Depends on the situation.
When it comes to me, I'm going to pop it out. But yes, in those moments, you're like, I'm done. I'm done being who I really am, and I'm just fucking done with you, and I just need to end this conversation.
Yeah. You've got it nailed pretty much.
Oh, does that mean I can pick you out? Kidding. I was making a joke about since that he's done with you, like you get to kick him out. That was a joke, but whatever.
I didn't catch it the first time, and it did bear repeating. And thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, John, I got
no. It's kind of like a something faith actor. That's what it is.
Something, a bad faith actor.
A bad faith actor. That's when you don't do well, and you're like, come on now, like you're really, like
worst.
that's.
I'm the worst. Richard could tell
but that's like when I see Richard like be like, I'm done with this shit.
Richard, how much of a bad faith actor am I? Come on, you can be honest.
You in your honesty and upfrontness, actually, I find you only to be anything other than perfectly transparent when you're trying to make jokes and be humorous. Actually, that's the only time. And,
you get discouraged and frustrated at times, Midnight. But I don't ever see you as somebody being disingenuous.
No,
I don't.
Well, I can't deny getting discouraged and frustrated. I'd be denying reality.
And believe me, I'm the ultimate orange squeezer, as I've always told people. I can squeeze your orange really good.
Yeah, if a person has some juice, John can get it out. It's true.
Yeah, well,
it's been a while. But yeah, that hasn't changed. I mean, I am who I am. I'm what, 53 years old now?
And I'm almost 40.
I think that's been revealed to me.
A little bit of cognitive decline as I get older. Anybody who's 50 plus is starting to lose their shit.
I hope you're joking. Are you?
I'm not Richard. I'm not as sharp as I used to be. Like it takes a bit longer for thoughts to formulate. My speech is slowed. I stutter a bit more, but my knowledge and experience isn't gone.
Wait. If your mind is flawed about these time-related things, and it's your mind you're using to assess time, namely how fast you were versus how fast you are, how do you know it's accurate?
Because I don't think that my knowledge and experience base is gone. I just think my ability to recall said information and experience is delayed because that intellect level has declined. Intellect's declined, but not knowledge, experience, or perception of things.
Wait. I don't mean to gaslight you, John, but it seems to me. Let me tell you a little story. Went to a family reunion with my wife back when we were married. Mm-hmm. And she had an uncle there. I'm going to call him Bob. That was his first name.
Uncle Bob, all right.
Uncle Bob. And Bob's your uncle. And Uncle Bob had went around apparently was going around to everyone and telling everyone that he had recently had a stroke. Mm-hmm. And he has lost his ability of short-term memory. Right? Okay. So he's telling me this story. And he says, so the doctor recommended I start, carrying around a notebook. And as soon as that becomes a habit, then I can count on my notebook as my short-term memory. He says, the problem is my wife tells me sometimes I forget to write things down. I said, John, you do realize you have no short-term memory. You have no way to argue with her. And she could say that about anything, right?
Yeah.
And he laughed because it's true. And I'm actually seeing a similar thing here in what you're saying. You're drawing
a correlation between the two.
like okay, have you recently recorded yourself and compared it to a recording from say 10 years ago? Have you done that?
It's not about recording myself. I just know how I process.
What if you just expect yourself to have been going faster by now, and that's the actual discrepancy?
I don't think that's it, because like when I watch videos of myself from
Oh,
3-4 years ago, I see my responses much quicker. I see my speech pattern faster, which is not a good thing, because I think I used to talk 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's quite that way anymore.
Peace and respect, Hillary's.
Hello.
Lord and Master Hillary's emails. Is that Hillary Clinton?
Yes.
Well,
I mean,
it was the
reference
emails,
to.
and someone else changed my name to the Lord Master. I've just not changed it because it just is funny.
Have you guys met?
No, I don't know this woman.
Only in side chat.
Okay, so
We met in side chat.
As
Yeah.
a form of pontificating or bridge building, I would appreciate if both of you heard the following. Of course, I have my own delusions and misunderstandings, but you two are two of the brightest people I've met in my life.
Well, thank you.
I appreciate the kind words, Richard. That's really nice.
they're only brilliant because they can articulate themselves well enough. That doesn't really prove that it.
Wait, having problems in articulation does not make a person unbrilliant.
For sure.
Well, I guess that's what. Never mind. Go ahead.
If a person were completely mute, does that make them not brilliant? Of course not.
No.
No, I know. I was making a joke that they're only brilliant because they can articulate them. Never mind, Richard.
Yes, and simultaneously diminishing one of my brothers, namely you. Yeah, I
Dude, you're not so bright, Midnight.
Well, I mean, I'm an albino. I'm bright in the bioluminescent sense. And I don't know, self-deprecating. I try not to do it a lot, but sometimes I just like.
If you were doing it for humor, I would laugh with you. But you don't think it's that funny.
What was that?
But you don't think it's that funny, and so neither do I.
Right.
I don't know. I'm a work in progress. What can I say? After all,
just quit diminishing my brother.
Are we all?
I'll diminish. Well, hold on. Diminishing your brother. So I guess. I don't know what I'm saying. Just whatever. Keep talking. What the fuck?
Well, let us know when you sort it out, though. I'm sure you will.
See, one of the cool things is Richard's one of the few people in the world that I see as somebody who has information that I don't have and I still don't understand.
Yeah, count me in part of that group.
Well, I'm just saying that, like you're in. I don't give a fuck. Like when I hear him talk about his vision, and when I hear him speak about things that he understands spiritually, he has something that's not me going, that's bullshit.
Well, I know it's true because it works in reality.
It's not that it works in reality. Like, I'm not saying like I agree with your attempt to correlate scripture with your truth. I think your truth operates independently of scripture. Does that make like I think I often see you drawing correlation to scripture to substantiate your truth, and I'm like, you don't fucking need it. What you hold to be true was given to you independent of that, if that makes sense.
Well, it's more okay. I can see the perception of independence, but it's actually, I think, universally inclusive is closer to the truth. And yeah, I talk about the Bible because mostly I talk to people who know the Bible.
Sure.
But the truth extends way beyond that. If that's what you're saying, you're right.
I do think that, like, I do, like, and there's been so many times that I'm like, you and I should just have a freaking like private conversation, not on air, and really just let me tap into your
You can
you're,
ask me anything. I will answer to the best of my ability.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, there's never been that opportunity where you and I just talked.
Well, your kids
Usually,
sleep through the night now, so there's a good thing.
right?
That opens up some window. Yeah. John, this is my moniker is the same as an email address.
What do you mean your
Use it.
moniker? Well, I have your email from way back in the day, unless it changed.
No, I still maintain that same Gmail account.
Yeah, and I still have my old Gmail. I don't check it very often because I don't have much interaction on it, but it's still there. The Messenger Reveal one.
Well,
Messenger Reveals one.
expect something on it, okay?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, cool.
So midnight or Lord and Master Hillary's emails. What do you have to say or think or share?
Nothing.
I understood what you were saying about the complex PTSD, that it's just a additional layman's description that deals with
Mhm.
the PTSD occurring over multiple events over a span of time, rather than
Sure.
just one severe incident.
And
Sure.
that is what I was literally trying to say. Thank you, Hillary's. That
Yep.
that 180 IQ pays for itself.
Yep.
Yeah, I find that when I've heard people, especially online forums, talk about complex PTSD, it appears at times that they want to make it appear that this is worse than somebody with PTSD, and I'm like, PTSD as a diagnosis is one or more events.
Right.
People who get into the complex say, I have so many events, it's difficult to identify where the trauma is coming from. And I'm like, as a former practitioner, I don't believe that's true.
Mhm.
Believe me, I've worked with people, whether it be coming out of prison, coming from the military, coming from domestic violence. PTSD to me as a clinician is PTSD. I don't care if it's one event, 12 events, 50 events. We can get down to some foundational things that keep the trauma ruminating rather than being able to reflect on the past in a way that completes healing over time.
How universal, John? Okay, so let me say some of the things that I used to do that I'm healed of now. I used to think that I could help myself with my PTSD by being more alert,
When you say alert, what do you mean by that?
like aware of dangers, like
Okay,
possible threats. Like
that's
like
fair because that's what I mean. Triggers are basically current stimulus that
yeah.
reminds you of an event that was horrible, and then you all of a sudden go in a state of emotion and perception like you're back in that old event.
Oh wow. Well, maybe I never would have been actually diagnosed then, because I didn't get into like any kind of a recurring emotional state.
That's what
Um,
happens though with people with PTSD.
well, I guess I never had it then.
My fireworks go off today reminds me when I was being bombed in Vietnam. That's a
Right.
post-traumatic stress disorder
Right.
that I'm getting triggered to relive and feel and be in a state of being or survival moment in a
Right.
non-life threatening moment that's similar because
Right.
of those triggers.
Okay.
So when you use cognitive therapy to reframe how you view the present, it gives you the ability to minimize that, reliving it to where you're like, no, put it in perspective, put it into context, put it in the moment. I'm good.
Okay. Well, that's going to give me something to think about. Thank you for that.
So when people say, disorders can't be healed or cured, I'm like, you're full of shit. Because all a disorder is a set of criteria that puts you into a categorical viewpoint or a categorical state of being or feeling. But if you don't have those criteria that interfere with functionality, then you're no longer the disorder. You no longer identify with it.
That makes good rational sense to me. So
when you try to explain that to people that were like,
what I'm actually trying to ask you though is, let me see if I can find a way to put this. How universal are reactions where person's experiences causing the PTSD can be greatly varied? Like for instance,
there's multiple things for sure, but go ahead.
Like for instance, the person felt physically threatened, like their life was in grave or even perceived immediate threat. You know, like I am going to die. That kind of an idea, right?
Sure.
And then because of that, they're how universal is a reaction to that, where people are like, I don't know what would happen. I can only speak to what was going on with me, that I had like an idea of acceptance, even like a willing or a wanting for the end of my life, something like that, where where that stressor would just be over. I mean, not quite a death wish, but certainly wouldn't have objected.
No, but I mean, when you're saying that it might be better to not feel than feel at all, right. That's kind of like that state of being. Like your being is your viewpoint, your thoughts, your perception. Your state of feeling may or may not be congruent with that state of being.
Right.
Like your being is who you are, and your feeling is emotionally how you feel in the moment. They're two separate things.
Right.
So if your state of feeling is apathy, hopelessness, depression, then you could certainly get in a state of being of, I don't really want to be here. I'd rather not be here.
Right.
Like that's why people have suicidal ideation. But when people start to change the way that they view themselves, they view others, expect from themselves, expect from others, that's when there's a shift in feeling, because perception and viewpoints and judgments create our feelings about things.
Right.
When we have emotions about things, it's how we feel based on our judgments, viewpoints, and perception of a moment in time or an outlook in time. So if you want to change how you feel, you have to change what you believe. That's what I said. If you want to change how you feel, you have to change the way that you believe, the way that you think, the way that you reason, the way that you perceive. If you don't, feelings don't change. That's what cognitive behavior therapy was really all about, was shifting viewpoint, perspective, judgment to change how you feel. And then if you feel differently, things can potentially be different.
Right. Like when I came to believe that we become angels, and that if I were killed or not, either way, the end result is going to be me restored into an angelic state. Either way.
Right. Right.
All of those kinds of fears and I don't know, hopeless, some form of hopelessness, not like depression, hopelessness, but it was different. Or any kind of suicidal ideation. I didn't experience that, but not for that reason anyway. Yeah, all that just faded away, just disappeared.
Well, that's good. You know, because I mean, when people are feeling anxiety, it's a heightened state of the fear of the unknown or
Mhm.
what could happen. And it's usually worst case happenings created by worse hap imaginations or judgments. People get in depression. It's a state of nothing's ever going to be better, rather than realizing that things can be better when you have a different outlook on what things could be within yourself and also for your life. Like, I always believe answers exist, information exists that we lack. Whatever
I
it
know
is that's
that's true.
causing our anger, whatever's causing our depression, whatever's causing our anxiety is a lack of understanding or perception about something. So if I ever start to get frustrated or annoyed or hurt or worried, I start to go, okay, what am I missing? What don't I understand about this moment or this world that's causing me to believe that it can't be different?
Right.
So I look for answers.
Yeah, I tend to I tend to say that as acceptance of truth, or seeking the correct truth, because I think when people have truth and they apply it and it works in reality, it gives them space to be, I don't know, at least content, maybe happy.
I mean, I'm content is just a state of acceptance for the moment,
Right.
without negativity, without stress, without anxiety, without depression, without frustration, annoyance. You're just content with the moment. You're accepting that moment, even if it's a situation that could cause other people stress or anxiety or depression or anger or frustration or unhappiness. It's not that state of feeling for you because you're accepting of that moment.
Right.
You're like,
Yeah.
this moment is what it is. I'll navigate through it. And when it's done, it'll be done.
Yeah. I believe that's
what contentment is. And then peace is a state of feeling absent from those other intense emotions. Like, I'm just content with the outcome and it's going to be what it is. That's a state of feeling of peace.
And actually, when I wish people peace and respect, that's exactly what I mean by peace.
Sure.
Yeah. Hey, I'm gonna go have a cigarette, but I'm gonna shoot you an email, and if you're still here when I get back,
Cool. Who's still online?
Well, I'm alive, basically, baby. I don't know.
Hillary's email. What's going on?
What'd you think? What'd you think of the debate last night?
I didn't watch it. I only caught some interpretation of it, like from media. Whether it be, one side saying, Hillary's really closing the gap on, Trump and is a lot more spiteful, youthful, articulate. And then people saying he was a disingenuous liar. And really the debate was one sided in terms of the moderators and the type of questions that they asked. But from my viewpoint, I don't care.
Yeah, the female moderator was a little bit more balanced than the male moderator. Because she would ask Kamala, she would point out some stuff from her too. But it did seem like it was 3-on-1.
Like, how do you lean? Are you a left-wing liberal or are you a right-wing conservative?
I'm fairly moderate. I'm socially liberal and fiscally conservative. So I'm
what does that mean?
A classical liberal.
Like, when you vote or don't vote or care or don't care, what are the things that you hold to be most important?
I'm very split ticket when it comes to, it's just like I said, when it comes to, bathrooms and sex and stuff like that, I'm very liberal. But when it comes to tax policy, I'm very conservative.
Okay. So that kind of makes it difficult to pick a candidate that you kind of follow behind.
I think Kamala would be a disaster. I think that Trying to remember that guy from the Northeast, Bernie Sanders. I think that
Okay.
he might have won against Trump the first time around if they wouldn't have, knocked him out.
Like not put Hillary up against him, but rather had him because
Right,
she had all the super delegate votes that really carried her into the nomination. Like
right.
that was his. Like he had more of the popular vote, but she had more of the super delegate vote.
Well, plus, anytime they were on TV, like the media was kind of colluding with her, giving her
Sure.
the questions beforehand, stuff like that. And so he was kind of shoved to the side. But like of the people that I know, even though I'm around Houston, like people really were excited about him, and nobody was excited about Hillary. They're like, oh boy, same old, establishment candidate.
I agree. Like I thought that Bernie was a more true representational for the Democratic Party, and I
Yep.
didn't think that he got a fair shake because of the progressive liberal media that just seated Hillary in that spot.
Yep.
Like watching her lose was kind of monumental because she was shocked as shit.
Yes.
All the exit polls showed that she was ahead of Trump. All the exit polls showed that there was no chance he would win, but because he was being demonized so bad, people weren't getting a true pulse of who was going to vote for him or not.
Exactly.
That's what I saw. And I think it's the same way now. I think that most people who do support Trump won't tell you they support Trump because they're afraid of ridicule and being demonized.
Right.
So that's not surprising. So when they're like, "Yeah, Trump's ahead by 1%," I'm like, "Well, is he or isn't he? We don't know." But usually, like when I usually vote my pocketbook. Who's going to put less taxes in my paycheck, and more money in my pocket? That's
Right.
generally the way I go.
Right.
But I don't think that either one of them cares about my morals, values, and ethics. But I contain those within my family, so I
Mhm.
really don't care what they hold to be true. I'm going to do what I
Right.
do, and my family's going to do what they do. So who's going to give me more money to support my family?
Yeah, I think Trump is a horrible person, but he won't screw up the economy the way that she would.
No, I mean they're like I don't know if there's any politicians that's not horrible.
Yeah. Well, they are pretty much guaranteed to be psychopaths,
For sure.
just in order to get to that level.
Yeah, they don't care about anybody. They're all about power, pleasure, and prosperity against everybody else.
Well, what topics do you enjoy discussing?
I like talking about human behavior more than anything because that impacts everybody for who they are, what they are, who they become. So if I could sit there and pick a topic of interest or something we're going to discuss, it's how and why we do what we do, and how do we become different, think different, be better versions of ourselves. But most people don't do well with that because I'll usually hold them accountable to their own bullshit rather than them placing responsibility on others for how they and why they are the way they are.
Mm-hmm. Did you
So
grow
yeah,
up in Canada?
I did not. I grew up in Michigan. I was there for 20
Okay.
years, went into the Air Force,
Ah,
um,
what'd you do in the Air
spent,
Force?
I was an electronic computer and switching system specialist, which
Oh,
means I
all right.
basically was maintaining computers and doing component level repairs on computers. Did networking, which is what led me into my network administration and engineering career until about 2004. And then, my after my military career, I went to work for a company called EDS. Worked with them as a network administrator and engineer. Then I ran my own company for about a year and a half. Then I went to work for Chrysler and General Motors. And then after that, I moved out and decided to go back to school. Got my BS in psych, master's in clinical counseling. Also did a master's in secondary teacher education. And now I just work as a project manager, controller at a consulting and design firm.
Hmm.
So that's kind of where I'm at. Sorry, I'm in the middle of dinner right now, so I'm kind of eating in between our conversation.
Okay.
So people have questions about human behavior. That's my gig and thing. People want to debate me on that kind of stuff, on counseling, psychiatry, psychology. I'll even delve into philosophy a little bit, but that to me gets into blurring lines of religion
Yeah.
because I see philosophy kind of like a religion. Like it's interesting to me to watch people use philosophical terms and categorization very similar to what people do in, theology or religion as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
Like people are always trying to put people into categories or buckets to better understand people, but then claim that they don't fall into buckets and categories.
Right.
Like words we use have definitions, have meanings, and if they don't, and we're using them, loosely or colloquial or just in jest, then how do we really, share viewpoint to where we agree or don't disagree with each other? So
You sound like my long lost twin.
maybe. Truth is truth is truth.
No, I'm always really picky when people misuse words. I say this is what that actually means, so use the right word or find another way of saying it.
Yeah. And that's why I'll be like, what do you mean by X? Because I realize that people use definitions differently. But when I debate to get to truth. Most people debate to be right. So what things do you struggle with in life or don't like about life?
I think I've come to grips with most everything. Just waiting
It's a
for my
good
time
thing.
to run out now.
Well, that's not a. I mean, when you say you're waiting for your time to run out, are you wanting it to end, or are you just
No, I just know
realizing
that
it's going to?
I got another 20, 30 years, and I'm just
Oh,
making
that's
the
quite a
most of
bit.
it.
So, what's your legacy when you're all said and done?
The lives of others that I've touched.
Good. It's good. What do you do for a living?
I am medically retired.
Okay.
I was
From?
a patrol sergeant in Houston.
Okay. Army, Marine Corps, what?
Air Force, same as you, Russian cryptologic linguist.
That's kind of cool. What years did you serve?
99 till 2001.
Okay. So where'd you do your permanent duty for your 4 years?
Officially at Offutt Air Force Base, Nebraska, but in reality, most of the time was in Germany, Italy, or Russia.
I say, because we had this master sergeant that came up fucking Offutt. Because Offutt used to be like a SAC base back in the early 90s. And he came to our, we were a TAC base, and then we became an AETC base in the 90s, a little bit after I had been there. Because we were basically training F-15 and F-16 fighter pilots at Luke. And he came, we were the computer maintenance and also the mission support system operators, which means we maintain the computer systems that pilots would use for flight planning on their F-15, 16s. And we maintain that computer equipment and flight planning software. We had this SAC guy come from fucking Offutt, and he was all about regulations in the book and everything like by the numbers rather than just by more of the spirit of stuff. And we
Right.
fucking hated him. So when you say to Offutt, that's kind of why I laugh. Not because of you, but because of him.
Right.
But yeah, I heard Offutt was just like a very mundane type of duty station.
Yeah.
Like there wasn't much to do around there.
Yeah, like I said, I was there more on paper than anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with all your travels, yeah. So what'd you do when you got out? Did you just go right into retirement, or?
Oh no,
You guys hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
All right, just say what you're gonna say, and then I'll say what I was gonna say.
No, before that I had been in corrections and to the police academy and had volunteered as a policeman. So when I got out, I went back into being a deputy down in Houston and worked there until I got hurt. So about 12 years.
Okay. That's awesome. Did you enjoy that?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, my closest. Oh no, you had something to say, Midnight. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna say I'm gonna end the stream. You guys are always, of course, you guys can talk backstage. Obviously, you don't have to leave. But I'm gonna end the
You're
stream.
ending the stream with all this interesting stuff we're talking about.
Yeah, Bond just appeared. He wants Midnight.
I guess you can wait a little more.
And Brojo won't have any content.
Did you say she wait? Don't make a she wait. That's a bad idea, bro.
Okay, well then I'm gonna end the stream.
Oh my gosh.
And you guys can talk all you want.
Are you bored?
I mean, kind of, but I also, want to go, talk to my friend who's, never mind. But yes,
would
thank
you
you,
kindly
everybody.
post a link one more time for Dave before you shut it down?
Oh, by the way, was that a Bioshock? Was that a Bioshock reference?
No, David Wildheart.
No, I know. Would you kindly?
Oh no, that's how I actually speak.
Never mind.
That's how Richard talks.
No, I know. It's one of the control phrases that they use in the game. Would you kindly do this? It's a way to. Never mind. It's lore for the game.
Oh, okay.
Like a post-hypnotic suggestion.
Yes. There he is, David.
Hello, thank you very much.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna end the stream, and you guys can talk however you want. And
are you leaving?
Yes, I just told you I have a friend to go to.
You have 4 friends right here, and you're choosing 1 over 4.
What?
When you say friend, Midnight.
But she's a split tail, so she kind of outweighs 4 of us.
Easy. And should.
He didn't say lady friend or sexual friend.
Oh, yeah, he did. Just real briefly. He said, I have to go meet her.
Yeah, but with Midnight, it doesn't much. Do you know what I mean? It could be hidden for it.
Anyways, thanks everybody for stopping by. Yeah, this is usually why I don't have streams.
You're welcome.
Thanks for letting me in your show.
Well, you're staying, obviously. But you're
still,
welcome.
Thanks for letting me. Before you go, I want to say.
All right.
Right.
So I'm going to end. There we go.